Welcome to the Sunday Times Politics Weekly, where we explore the big political issues of the moment. I'm Mike Siluma, and thanks for joining us. Since the last municipal elections, political coalitions have become the talk of the town. Some have speculated that, similar to the municipalities, next year's national elections will yield coalition governments at national and provincial levels. However, current coalition governments, notably in the big metros, have been characterized by instability and infighting, in which the Patriotic Alliance has been an important player. That's why in this episode of the Politics Weekly, we chat to the Patriotic Alliance's president, Gayton McKenzie.
You asked Mr. Ramaphosa to sit down first. I'm standing.
Now I warn you.
I need to put on my big girl panties and keep going.
You can't have two speakers standing at the same time.
Security services of the Republic of South Africa, you may intervene.
There's been several attempts on my life.
Lower that hand on who
The president is accused of serious crimes. You can't be addressed by a person like this. That's not order of the house.
In order to pursue the greater good, you have to enable some people to eat a little bit.
Corrupt people do not eat alone. They have a spider web.
I now suspend the proceedings. I have warned you.
Hey, welcome to the Sunday Times Politics Weekly.
Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, when you come onto the news media these days, people see the Gayton McKenzie, who's now the leader of the PA, and he's talking a lot of politics, etc. When did your interest in politics start?
Well, for me, I think I was being a political animal my whole life, basically, until I went left. I got involved in crime.
Mm-hmm. Don't say you went left, because the left politicians just say, hey, what are you talking about?
I went right. No, I was one of the youngest people to have joined the ANC those years. Mm-hmm. I was looking at a T-shirt the other day I had when it was still bent, and I took a picture with it. I still have that picture. Yeah. But I also led our school, because I grew up in a colored community, into the first march in solidarity.
And where was this?
In Heidedal, in Bloemfontein.
In Bloemfontein.
In solidarity against black kids not having textbooks. And I was just frustrated, I wasn't a dumb child, so I could see that black people studying doesn't really take you anywhere. And I had a role model that was a gangster, and I got involved in crime at an early age as a career choice. And came out of jail, started a business, became an entrepreneur, did very well. And then I just looked at it and I thought that, the community I'm from, the colored community, they were not white enough during apartheid. Now with democracy, they're not black enough. And I was like, the colored child is truly the stepchild. And I want to help to bring the colored agenda to the table, not to dominate other agendas, but to be on equal footing with other agendas. And we started the Patriotic Alliance then only for colored people, basically. But time and becoming a bit wiser made us change our stance and realize that it's racist to just be for one party. Mm-hmm. And that's how we started to grow, and we involved all our other parties.
Yeah. That's why people were saying, Kenny Gunene, what's Kenny doing there? Kind of thing. Yeah. So you've stuck together with Kenny since you guys went left. Yeah. In inverted commas.
No, Kenny is my brother. Mm-hmm. I always say, people say, Kenny is your best friend. I said, actually not.
Yeah.
Because best friend parties together. I'm not a party animal. Kenny was a party animal. And I'm a bookworm. I'm a guy that likes to sit at home. And people have this wrong impression about me because they put me in the same can as Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny is my brother, so he would always be involved in anything I do. Mm-hmm. And that's how he supported me. Because I asked him one day one question. I said to him, Kenny, he asked me the question, he said, why is it that colored people are not called Africans? Mm-hmm. but they're the first nation in South Africa.
Yeah.
And it's a question people don't want to answer. And I said to him that, and he said, I am helping you to bring this agenda to the table. Yes.
And then you went into politics formal. The PA is formed, and then you start campaigning, in elections, etc. For example, you didn't do too shabbily, for a new party in the last elections, local authority elections. And then once you were in there, some people are saying, people like Musi Maimane, even Julius Malema, have said, this guy is an ex-con man. How do you allow an ex-convict to lead a political party or to lead the city of Joburg, for example, Your response was I was quite intrigued by your response. I was expecting you to come out fighting, like talking the political jargon, etc. But it was you seemed to fall back on the Bible for some reason.
Yes,
Why is that?
I think firstly I must just correct one thing you said, or one and a half. You said that we didn't do shabbily. In fact, we had a breakout party for the election. No party has grown in the history of this election that passed, like our party. We grew 16 times compared to the last election. We grew 16 times. And then it was Julius Malema, it was Floyd Chivambo also, including Musi Maimane, including the editor of the biggest newspaper, which is your editor here, that even wrote a whole article about it. Now, I want to say two things. About me being an ex-criminal, being in politics and leading a party. There's two things I want to say. I think the first one is I want to talk about Julius and them. It is an indictment on them, on all this, and Musi Maimane and Floyd Chivambo, all of them. It's an indictment. That people would rather vote for a guy like me than for them, angels, established politicians. It's a hell of an indictment. So it's embarrassment. It's embarrassment. It's just that you are this holier than thou person, but people don't vote for you. They vote for this guy. So I understand where it's coming from. It's an indictment on them. And then the second issue is that this is the main part. I went to jail. In prison, I exposed the world's biggest prison corruption. I was then let out of jail. I then came and I broke the record of having spoken to more schools than anybody. I went to 1,003 schools across the country, warning children about the dangers of crime. I then got involved I made money and I gave millions to charity. I'm still the person that hires more ex-prisoners than anybody on the African continent. Now, here's the main question. If a guy like me, that has given millions to charity, that has exposed corruption, that is doing good in this country, if I am not to be forgiven or an acceptable face to be accepted in society, what chance does all the millions of people have if I am not, after everything I've just mentioned to you? Then you're not serious about fighting crime. Then you must hang or shoot all the prisoners. Because you can't give a guy like me a chance with my resume, with what I have done. What chance does the other guy that's in jail getting when he comes out and he's got no millions to give? He's got no money to go to different schools to speak to school children. He never had the opportunity to expose corruption. What chance does that guy have? You see, there are people that hate crime, and they also hate people that don't want to be criminals anymore. And that's a question South Africa must be grappling with. I'm not a struggling guy. I'm very well off. So what about the guy? The questions, I'm not talking for myself here for a job. I will never go look for a job. But what about the guy that truly needs a job that comes from jail? The guy that truly wants to change his life? Those are the questions South Africa needs to answer. Not about Gayton McKenzie. I'm sorted. What about the guy if you say, I'm not accepted? And I mean, if your editor, biggest editor says, this guy can be accepted, what chance does the normal guy have that has never committed, never want to commit more crimes?
I want to ask you, because you in your response to Musi, what Musi Maimane said, you spoke about the blood of Jesus and all of that. Are you a religious person?
Very. I mean, listen, I was The worst person, I think if you have to choose 10 of the worst people ever born in this country, I'll be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was a leader of a gang. I became a general of the 26 gang in jail. And I have changed my life. And not because of my choice only. It is only God that could have stepped in. I know who I was. I know how my life has been transformed. And it's impossible for me not to give honor to God because of who I have become and who I have been. As people change and join religion, just by meeting me, people that knew me then, and they see me now, they're like, the blood lives. God. Look at this man.
Yeah.
And I had to answer Musi and say, if you say, what people basically saying, that goes to church every week that says, and pastors that says, no, Gayton, don't trust him, we can't have, you're actually saying that the blood of Jesus cannot rescue me. It has lost its power.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. You're saying that the devil is more powerful than God because I can't be taken from the clutches of the devil.
Yeah, but here's the other thing that you mentioned. I saw you being quoted as having said, you said that you want South Africa to be a God-centered country. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that I'm well-traveled. I have no time for this constitution of South Africa because it's very hypocritical. It's a constitution that does not recognize God. In our constitution, God is not recognized. What I mean with that is that, I'll make you example with our leaders. Let's take the ruling party. There's not a rally I have seen of the ruling party where they don't have all the different imams, pastors, bishops, all of them. This is fact, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You watch on TV, you see people praying. But our children at school are not praying because that has been taken away from them.
Yeah.
So the grace you want for your political event is the grace that you deny to our children in school.
Okay.
That's where the hypocrisy comes in.
Yeah.
And I look at countries like when I was watching the inauguration of Joe Biden, in every second sentence there's God bless America. God be with this president. I went to my last holiday was in Qatar, and I saw how they worship Allah. And there's prosperity. Children, religion brings some sort of foundation. Our children. Today, children are stabbing teachers. Children are killing teachers. We knew that never happened in our time. Because something is missing. And I want to say that I know I'm going to become the president of this country.
You are going to be the president of the country.
I am going to be the president
of South Africa.
Of South Africa.
Just so there's no confusion.
There's no confusion.
Of South Africa.
And I'll explain to you how.
Okay.
You just,
but maybe before we get...
I want to finish the sentence. God will come back in South Africa. Our children will pray. God will be the center again. We will allow prayer in the workplace like other countries. This whole antichrist thing will get rid of in our country. We are a God-fearing country. We grew up a God. Now we are being contaminated with all this new world order nonsense.
But here's the thing. Some people might say the Constitution seeks to recognize the rights of people to follow different religions. In other words, we're not we're a secular kind of a country where people are free to believe in whatever they want to believe in without one religion being imposed, on everyone else. What do you say to that?
I agree with that. But what we would not want is for Satanism to be recognized here. People, in our party, we have Muslim councillors. The councillor in the city of Johannesburg, Joera Kaldin, is a Muslim. The councillor in Cape Town, Ratika Takudin, is a Muslim. So we allow, my best friend follows Judaism. So we allow all kinds of practicing the word of God. But what we will not allow is for Satanism to come and mock our God. Like everybody that doesn't believe in God seems to do. That will never happen under my rule.
And now, when we look at the problems in South Africa, one view is that at the heart of all our problems in South Africa is the issue of economic inequality. Fundamentally, it decides where you go to school, what kind of community you live in, what kind of healthcare you get, all of those things, stem from the economic, inequality problem. What are your objectives? What do you stand for from an economic point of view?
I think just very briefly, you are right when you say that's where all our problems are stemming from. Let me first tell you very briefly the 6 things I stand for. Number 1 will be to bring God back into schools. Number 2, I stand for conscription, national service. Number 3.
No. When you say national service, you mean what?
Conscription.
There can be civil national service, or there can be military.
Military.
Okay.
Military. In South Africa is all encompassing because you have people going for military training, but they're coming out there. Example I can make you is like the white guys that work for me at the mine, at my different mines. Those boys have got standard grade 4. Some of them got grade 6.
Yeah.
But they are highly skilled. And you ask him, where did you learn this? The army, sir. The army, sir. I can tell you, ask 100 of them. I get the same answer, the army, sir.
Okay, so you would have conscription.
Conscription.
That's the third one.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the third one. Then there's the second one. I said, I will bring God back.
Yeah.
I'll bring conscription back.
Yeah.
The third one, there will be mass deportation of illegal foreigners. Mass deportation of illegal foreigners. The fourth one.
Just elaborate, because I'm just trying for us to go through many things at the same time. Just elaborate on the mass deportation. How would it work? How would the people be identified who are going to be deported and all of that?
Everybody must walk around with their ID. South Africans are already doing that.
Including South Africans.
Including South Africans. South Africans are already doing that. If you walk around with your license, in your pocket now you've got your driving license. That's a form of identification. So all we want is for foreigners to show identification. Now people are saying it's like the pass system. That's being disingenuous. South Africans are walking around with identification.
And other people will say the problems of our society do not stem from foreigners. That why are you targeting, let's say you're scapegoating foreigners?
All our problems stem from illegal foreigners. All of our problems. I can tell you something. The people that lives in Sandton and centers like where we live, that has medical aid, that got a job, they are not faced with the reality of the problems that foreigners bring. Let me make you an example. In this reality, I've only recently been introduced to since I entered politics. Number 1, if you, one of the people in our party, to get a colonoscopy done, because they had a problem in the stomach. They have a 3-month waiting list in Baragwanath. We insisted wanting to see that waiting list. It is just Zimbabweans on that list.
You actually saw that yourself?
Yes, I saw it myself. Rahima Musa. We got a call from one of our patriots calling the MMC, the then MMC of Health, Ashley Sauls, and say that all pregnant women are laying on the floor in Rahima Musa. At 12 o'clock, they called him. He woke up from his bed and he went to go make a video that went viral in South Africa, where Zimbabwean and Nigerian women are laying on the beds, while South African. This is not things. It's there. It happened. You go and go to any restaurant in the city of Cape Town and tell me if you find a South African serving you or cooking for you. It's illegal foreigners. You go to every single house in all the big suburbs. They've got foreigners, Malawians working in the garden, and they got Zimbabweans cleaning the house.
No, I hear that. I hear
no,
that.
but my point I'm trying to make is that it's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
What option does the South African have? While the Zimbabwean can go back to the country. South African politicians are dishonest. They lie. They are betraying the people, because when we put their hands on the Bible, when you become an ordinary councillor, you say, I will serve the people of South Africa.
Yeah.
When we went to Sudan now, did we rescue Zimbabweans? Did we rescue Mozambicans? No, we rescued only South Africans.
Yeah.
Because it is how it should be. The majority of white people that calls me a xenophobe, you know what is innate racism? Let me explain to you. It's people that still long to have power over black people. to not pay people a living wage, to not to have people that don't have redress in the union, in the form of a union. I'm saying to you that and to answer your question, how we will do it, we will give a reward to people to hand over illegal foreigners for them to go home.
Civilians.
I can tell you countries where it happened. And you look at a country like El Salvador, was the world's murder capital. A year ago, the president Nayib Bukele came in, and for the first time last week, a year back, there's not been one murder. It's the he took it from the world's murder capital to the safest place in the world where there's no murder in El Salvador for 365 days. He did it together with the community. We will do it.
Okay. I want us to go to your other objectives. Now, just very quickly, someone might say, even if you deport all the foreigners, the illegal foreigners, you won't solve the fundamental crisis of the South African economic system or social system. What would you say to that?
No, they don't know what they're talking about. There's 15 million foreigners roughly in this country, illegal foreigners, they are told. But
how do you know that they're 15?
So that's the numbers everybody's saying. But that's why I say, for the sake of this argument, let's halve that. Let's make it 7.5 million. Not the 15 million they're talking about. Most illegal foreigners coming here are they're here for economic reasons. Most of them have jobs. Now, you're sitting with the world's biggest unemployment in South Africa, youth unemployment, adult unemployment. Now, once you deport these people, there's jobs. And once you legalize and you say no one will hire anybody that's from outside the country, which is not happening at the moment. And you punish companies. I'm a businessman. I know what I will be doing. I'll hire South Africans and I will train South Africans. The thing is that all of the media, the majority of the media, in South Africa, all of the media, the majority of people that have money and that is medical aid, you've all lost your minds. You talk about human rights. Who talks about the human rights of a young black kid that has been sitting at home for 8 years? What does that do to that child psychologically? What does that do? They've studied, they can't find a job. They will leave. The day I become president here is the day they will leave. I will mass deport them. I will build a wall, and you must dare come over that wall.
The other objectives,
I will bring back the other three. I'll bring back the death penalty. You kill, I kill you.
So you'd have to change the constitution, basically.
No, I told you I don't recognize this constitution. Me coming in, I will have a state of emergency to change this constitution. I can't do anything I just told you. With this new world order.
But it's one thing to say you don't recognize the constitution, separate from saying we have a constitution, you would like it changed.
No, I'm not saying that. That's what you're saying. I am saying.
No, I'm asking you.
I am saying. All the things I told you now, bring God back, it's against this constitution. Conscription is against this constitution. The death penalty is against this constitution. Mass deportation is against this constitution. This is a piece of paper to me. I'm going to bring a state of emergency. The moment I can get elected, I will bring a state of emergency to bring order. You cannot bring order. I can show you countries, physical examples. Rwanda, the latter part of the century, 1 million people died in Rwanda. 1 million people died. One man came out of there, Paul Kagame. No matter what you think of Kagame, no what you say about Kagame, he brought law and order. He had to suspend this constitution, then the constitution they had that allowed people to die. I am saying to you that South Africa needs law and order. So number 4, what I will do after bringing the death penalty back, after hanging people. Number 4, I will bring back this thing of, I will stop this exportation of our minerals, unrefined minerals. That's jobs leaving, is not minerals only. It's jobs leaving. Things will leave here, our minerals will leave here in a refined form. Beneficiation shall happen. We shall get the maximum benefit out of our minerals. At the moment, we're getting zero benefit except...
So what would you do with the companies? Because currently, the government licenses and the companies extract.
Yes. The companies can keep on extracting. What would you do? I was in Zimbabwe. I had 7 chrome mines. 7. Zimbabwe, President Robert Mugabe came out and he says, no mineral will leave. I remember Chrome Fields, one of the companies, my competitors there, then built smelters. And they're one of the big chrome companies in the world today. I didn't see my way to do that. I left. So the people that truly believes in the country, like the people like Chrome Fields, Zonate and them, they believed in that country totally. They remained, they reinvested their money in that country. I didn't do that. So in this country, government legislate and give licenses, the companies extract. We are not saying don't extract, but we are saying don't let it live in the raw form. We are saying build your smelters.
Beneficiation and
more than just beneficiation.
Yeah.
We want no mineral to leave here unrefined. I'll make you an example with our timber. Let's talk about timber.
Yeah.
Timber leaves this country here. It goes to China. It returns. Everything in this room come from China. All the coffins you see come from China mostly. What stops us from making our own coffins? What stops us from making our own furniture? Now people say, oh, they take all our timber there. No, they don't just take all our timber there. They're taking our jobs there. The Chinese young people, you see, this thing is not working. Democracy in its current form, it is very, very, very unfair towards black, colored, and Indian people, including some whites.
Okay.
Then the last thing I'll be doing is I will cancel race. This thing of I'm a colored, I'm an Indian. You know, let's be honest, and people don't want to hear this. How long are white kids still going to pay for the sins of their grandfather? That's why every white kid can't wait to finish school. And we have a brain drain and they're leaving for other countries. I am not saying the redress should stop. That's not what I'm saying. But surely we can't blame apartheid still. Japan managed to change the economy in 10 years. We are 30 years in. The ANC has not failed. They failed dismally. I am saying that there will no longer be white, black, Indian, and colored. We will all be known as South Africans going forward. That's the only way to build a country. You see, you look at expropriation without compensation. Deep in my heart, in the deepest part of me, I want us to expropriate without compensation. I want us to just take the land. But I understand you cannot do that in this world where we are at, in this economy.
Why not?
If you lose property rights, you have nothing left in the country. I can tell you can close these doors. No one will invest. I'm talking to you as an investor, as a politician with commercial sense. You say, it's nice to scream all those things. We'll take the land. We'll do, but you must check the repercussions. I'm saying to you, you dare take this land. You have the right to take it. You can take it. But I can tell you now, you will lose property rights. No country has ever survived losing property rights. Look at Zimbabwe. They are now giving land free to white people. But they were the ones chasing. We saw how they burned some whites or whatever. So we must be realistic. I am a pragmatic, realistic leader.
Let's come back, very quickly before we run out of time to the actual politics, You put up your hand in Joburg and then you withdrew. What happened there?
No, I think the people that wanted to vote for me had some questions for me, and they wanted some assurances which I couldn't give. The number one assurance they wanted from me, and they were well-meaning. I mean, it's honest.
When you're saying people, you mean who? Individuals or parties?
The coalition partners. Well-meaning. I mean, they have a right to know who they're voting for. And they said, we'll vote for you, but on one condition. Tell us you will soften your stance on illegal immigration. And I said to them, unfortunately, I will not soften my stance. In fact, I will move the offices of the Metro Corps and my office to Hillbrow. And I will flatten Hillbrow if I have to.
Which party said that to you?
The Democratic Alliance. They were very clear that's not the ECDP. They say there's no Christian principles. And they were clear with me, and I respected them for that.
So you withdrew,
So I said, no, let me rather withdraw because I am the one person that will chase them out of this country.
And now a related thing. Where were you guys looking when Thapelo Ahmad was made mayor? And then you turn around and you criticize him, say he's out of his depth, etc. Like you were not party to the decision.
No, I was full party to the decision. I was full party to this decision.
How did you choose the guy?
We know Thapelo Ahmed has been honest. He's never been found guilty of any corruption. We've been with him in council. I saw him as a man of great intellect, in fact, honestly, until he went into power. And the man made the first mistake, Second mistake, I remember JJ Tabani asked me, you still, I said, no, let's give the man a chance. But when it came to a loan, he speak about he's busy with a loan, we're not, I then decided it's forgivable. People can still forgive me for putting him there, to help putting him there, but it will be unforgivable to keep him there. And I am one person that if I'm faced with facts, I change my mind. I was faced with facts regarding Tapelamet, and I changed my mind.
Let's look to the elections next year, because you just said, before we started, that you're going to be hitting the road, preparing for next year's election. Now, if we get, as is likely, we get to a situation after the election, alliances have to be formed, as is happening currently. Between the ANC, DA, EFF, who would you rather have?
We are the only party on record that have said we'll work with anybody. In fact, we went as far before we even started negotiating that we said even if the AWB existed still as a political party, we would have voted for them. That's how far we went. And we have not moved away from that stance.
But it means you haven't got a stand plaque, if you like.
No.
If you're saying you'll vote for anybody, it means that you don't have a stand of your own.
Want power.
Principle. What about principles?
Whose principles? Let's start there. Whose principles?
Your principles. In other words,
principle is to give people proper service delivery. My principle is to give people jobs. My principle is to make sure that people are better off than I found them. That's my principles. My principle is not Karl Marx. My principle is not left or right. My principle is simply make people's life easier, give people jobs, give people opportunity. That's my principles. Now, if a politician tells you they don't want power, it's the biggest lie. We walk door to door. We walk in the rain. They get scolded. They kiss babies. They kiss old ladies for power. We all want power. I want power to change the people's lives. We all want power. But you journalists let people off the hook. They tell you they want power. They want power. What do they want in politics? Because the playground of politics is power.
Now, just in terms of next year, you mentioned you said that you think you may become president of the country.
Two things are going to happen next year. The PA will either decide who's going to become president, and we might choose ourselves.
This idea, a lot of people have raised the thing that if you've got obviously you after an election you've got the party with the biggest and the second biggest, third biggest, and so on. Now, some people have said, how can it be democratic for a party that has not got the biggest vote to become president or become mayor, etc.? People have asked that. To say how democratic is that?
They're lazy to read. Coalitions don't work like that. First, if you want to criticize something, first find out how the thing works. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to criticize a new car if I don't know how cars work. Coalitions don't work like that. Number one, big parties does not need coalition partners. Big parties.
You mean majority parties?
No, big parties. Because some of them call themselves, we are a big party.
I see what you mean.
So big parties does not need coalition partners. Big parties have outright numbers to govern outright. So all of us in coalition, there's no big or small party. It is a fact of democracy. We are not busy here with dictatorship. This is democracy in its finest form. You might not like democracy in its finest form, but this is democracy in its purest form. We are saying we're going to get 1.5 million votes next year. That gives us 8%.
Your votes will be coming from where? Countrywide? From certain...
Countrywide.
You've got branches and...
everywhere. We are sitting on 85 seats countrywide. From 5 seats, we went to 85 seats. We are kingmakers everywhere. We are kingmakers in the biggest municipality in Africa, Johannesburg. We said we don't want Tapelo Ahmed. Where is he today?
Okay. Before we finish,
next year we'll say who we want. That person will be
and they might come from
it might be the Patriotic Alliance.
It might be you.
Yes, it might be me.
Now, just lastly, I want to ask: when you're not dealing with your businesses or with politics, etc., what do you do?
Oh, yes. You see, the thing is, I'm no longer dealing with businesses because I've resigned from all my companies
to
do this political thing full time. You can't do it. What I do is I like to travel and take pictures. I race cars. That's my hobby.
What kind of cars?
Sports cars. We'll race it on the track.
Okay.
I do it legally now. I used to do
You don't do donuts and things.
I used to do donuts and those things no longer. Politics is not allowed. Imagine they catch me doing donuts. But I will take sports cars and we'll be on the track. I would. Those are the things that I do, and spending some time with friends, family.
Okay, Gayton McKenzie, the president of the Patriotic Alliance. We're going to have to stop here because we've just about run out of time. We'd like to thank you very much for your time. I'm Mike Siluma. Until next time, do stay safe, stay blessed, and let's do good for our country.